Hello everyone and welcome back. So here we are with another monthly tag video, and I had so many of them planned out just because it's autumn and close to Halloween and all that good stuff, but all of those got pretty much scratched because I've been fasting, and so my interest has been on something else, and therefore we're doing this tag today. The tag is called the Wanderlust Travel TAG, and I am so having the travel bug right now, so let's get started. Where was your first plane ride to? My first plane ride was actually to the Black Sea. That's in Eastern Europe, and yeah, I went with my grandparents, and I can't remember how old I was, maybe 4 or 5. I don't think I flew before that age. Where have you traveled to that you would love to visit again? Everywhere, honestly. I mean, there isn't one place that I wouldn't love to see again. I don't know any place in particular. I mean, I would love, just right now, I would love to travel everywhere, but the further the better. And again, right now, I wouldn't necessarily want to travel, like maybe, I don't know. I haven't been to Michigan in a very long time, and I went to high school there, and I lived there for quite a while, so that would be kind of like nostalgic to go back, but I don't know if that would be like my first pick. You know, if somebody would tell me you can fly anywhere that you want to, go on vacation, where would you like to go that you have been? But yeah, that just comes to mind. What are 3 of your must-have travel items? 3 must-have travel items. Well, things have changed. Back in the day, it used to be a CD player and tons of batteries, but those days are so gone. Right now, I would say a good camera and plenty of memory, because I am into the whole vlogging life right now, so definitely a good camera. A good phone, like with like good coverage, just because without it, like right now my phone is broken, I don't have any internet on it, and I feel like my life is incomplete. So I think a phone that, you know, gives you like internet access and stuff like that would be a must-have, just in case you get lost, GPS, contact someone, emergency, that would be it. And I don't know, some really comfortable like clothes, like, I don't know, something that you feel just relaxed in, because traveling, it is pretty stressful. So yeah, I guess that would be like my 3 must-haves. But I haven't traveled, like, I have traveled a lot in the past, but it was like more like from destination to destination, taking planes, stuff like that. It wasn't like really exploring so much the country, like backpacking type of an experience, and that's kind of what I'm drawn to. So I don't know, in that case I would say like good mountain boots and a good backpack and some pretty good tent / sleeping bag. But it just depends how you want to travel. Where do you want to visit next? I honestly don't know. This is a very hard question, because I've been watching a lot of traveling videos and just all sorts of like exotic places. I guess I would want to visit the Middle East, Asia, like things that are very foreign to me, things that I haven't experienced yet, because I did experience, you know, a big chunk of Europe, and I've been to US and Canada, so I would just want something that is like very culturally different, just everything new experiences. Do you have any interesting lost story? Well, I don't really get lost that often, just because I have a good sense of my bearing and stuff, but I did used to get lost a lot as a kid. So on the weekends, my mom would like to do like mini road trips, like, you know, just go for a day and visit another city, because in Europe, like, everything is so close, like 1 or 2 hours away and you're in a different country. But this was in the same country that we were living in, and it wasn't like, the city wasn't that far from where I used to live as a kid, but it was just, to me, it was like very far away. It was like an hour drive. And the reason why I would love going there, and it still is because they have this ginormous square, like this huge, like in the city center, it's huge. I can't, like, I don't know, like a couple of blocks just of like open space, and there are like stores, like shops on either side, and then, you know, like you have cafes. It's like this long thing, but there's this ginormous part of the square that is just open, and people are like crisscrossing it and stuff. But there were hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of pigeons, and I love animals, so for me that was like the best thing. And you could feed them, and they had like water fountains, like especially for the pigeons. Like, that was an attraction, so I loved going there. So I actually got lost 2 times because of the pigeons. So what would happen is my mom would like park the car, and then, you know, you would have to like head into the square like on foot, because it's, you know, you can't drive in. So as soon as we would, like, you know, the openness would happen, like we would come through the buildings and I would see this square and all these pigeons, I would just like bolt like right in the middle of the square, which, I mean, it is huge. Like, it takes you, I don't know, a good 3 minutes to 5 minutes to like walk, like cross it on foot. Like, I don't know how many football fields that would be, but it is huge. So obviously I would bolt into the pigeons, and I would start running around, you know, and my mom could see me, because obviously, you know, a mom, like, she has like extra senses of like keeping an eye on her child, and I was probably the only blonde crazy child running around in circles after the pigeons, so I don't think it was that hard to keep an eye on me. But as my mom would be traveling, like going, you know, on the side of the square with the rest of the people, because people are going one way and then coming another way, like on the sides of the square, and sometimes like crisscrossing. But yeah, she would be moving with the crowd, so obviously from wherever we entered the square to where my mom would be like 10 minutes later, after I would like run around after the pigeons and then be like, oh wait, I have a parent. So the first time that this happened, like, I looked up in a panic and I obviously could not see my mom anywhere, and I like immediately, doomsday kid. So I can't remember how old I was, probably 5, 6, something like that. I think I was like 5, and immediately, like, my reaction wasn't like, oh, I gotta go find my mom. I was like, that's it, I'm homeless. I'm a homeless child now. Like, how am I gonna, you know, I'm gonna have to beg. Where am I gonna sleep? I'm gonna have no food. Like, those were the thoughts that I had as a 5-year-old. And then all of it, like, I was trying to work out, you know, an engineering mind. I was trying to work out like all of the problems that I'm gonna face, like how am I gonna deal with the rain and, like, you know, stuff like that. So I was just standing there like in the middle of the square thinking of like how to work out my life now that I'm a lost child. And then obviously everything was so overwhelming that I just started crying. And then my mom just, like, she was actually sitting at a cafe which was, like, you know, on the edge, so she could see me the entire time, but I couldn't see her just because the place is so huge. So my mom, she came to me and she's like, why are you crying? I'm like, oh, I thought I was lost and, you know, I'm gonna be homeless. And my mom was like, come on, I bought you ice cream, like, stop crying. So that happened, and then I was like, never again, never again, I'm never again getting lost. And lo and behold, like, a few years go by. I mean, we used to go there all the time, but I would just like hold my mom's hand and, like, you know, just find the place. And she would sit at a cafe, and I would make her like sit like as close to the open square so I could see her. And once we would be like settled, like then I would like run and play with the pigeons. And I actually caught a pigeon one time. I ran after the pigeon so much that I was like, Mom, look, I have a pigeon. So I would wait, I would be patient to like, you know, and then I could, you know, just every now and then look at my mom. So for a few years I was good, and then I think I was like 8 again. Like we used to go to this place all the time because I loved it so much. But you know, a few years go by and we go there again, and my mom was like with some friends and stuff, and the same thing happened. We entered the square, I saw the pigeons, I just went for the pigeons, completely disregarded my mom and her friends, like I didn't care. And again, like 10 minutes go by and I'm like run, or maybe even more, like I don't know, I was just running, and then all of a sudden like, wait, I have a parent. And then again, looking around that huge square, and I'm like, I didn't even start processing like, what am I gonna do, what am I gonna eat, how am I gonna be homeless. I just immediately started crying. I'm like, no, I got lost again. Which was super funny. Well, not to me, but like to my mom. So my mom, again, she was just sitting at a cafe. She was like calling my name, and my name is Antoinette, but when I was little, or until recently, my nickname was Tony, Antoinette Tony. So she was like, you know, yelling like, Tony, Tony, and like waving her hand, and I was like, okay, so I'm not lost. And then I went and I sat down. My mom's like, do you want anything to eat? I'm like, no. This was in the summer, so I always wanted ice cream and stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't want anything. And then I just didn't leave my mom's side like the rest of the time. So those were my lost stories. Other than that, like as a grown-up on my own, I mean, on my own, I've traveled like transatlantic flights since I was like 12 by myself, with like 2 layovers and like changing 4 planes and like, you know, public transportation. So I don't really get lost, but you know, I have had experiences where I was supposed to take a metro from like the train station to the airport, and this happened in Hungary actually. So in Budapest, in the capital, you know, the metro, like it goes in a straight line, or at least it has like 2 ends, like where it starts and where it stops. So I was supposed to take like one number and like go all the way. It was really simple, like get on the subway and go all the way to the end of the line, and you know, from there you have a shuttle that takes you to the airport. And that was actually recently, that was like a few years ago when I was going to Switzerland. So I do that, I go into the metro and everything, I buy the ticket, you know, I'm on the line, like the number that I'm supposed to, and I go to the end of the line, which is like 40 minutes. And then once I get off the line, like once I get off the metro, I go outside and I'm like, there is no shuttle. Why is there no shuttle? So then I stopped someone and I asked them, like in Hungarian, I'm like, you know, where's the shuttle? And they're like, you know, you're at the wrong end. I'm like, no, but they told me to go to the end. And I'm like, I am at the end. And they're like, yeah, but it has 2 ends, so you went in the wrong direction. So I'm like, okay, how do I like undo this? And he's like, you know, just go back down on the platform and take a train all the way to the other end, which was like by now like an hour and a half, like 2-hour long thing. And you know, it wasn't a problem to be lost in the city or anything, but I did have a time that I had to be at the airport, and there was the shuttle waiting for me, so I'm like, damn. So that's probably like the only lost thing experience that I had. Like I navigate on maps pretty well. My mom is the one who's like lost all the time, so I mean, she like now my mom lives in Italy, but she moved house, and apparently this is another funny story. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but this is just hilarious. My mom and my grandma have like no sense of direction. Like my grandma, if she goes into a store, like she enters on the left, then when she goes out of the store, she takes another left, which instead of taking you back is just going to take you further, and then she's like completely lost. Or if she enters on like one, like if it's a mall and she goes into like one entrance and she comes out like on another street, she's completely lost. My mom is the same way. And like my grandma was visiting her just recently, and so my mom moved in like a few months ago to this new house, and apparently she's only driven there in daylight, so they were out. I don't know what they were doing, but anyway, they got home like late and it was dark, and my mom kept circling like around the same pretty much like group of villas and stuff, and I was like, I can't find the house, and my grandma's like, you drove past it like 4 times. So yeah, thankfully I don't get that from my mom and my grandma, the lack of sense of direction, so I don't get lost that easily. And yeah, that's it. It's just, you know, crazy kid. And probably I would still get lost today if I would go into that square with pigeons. It's just animals. Where would you travel to just to eat the food? Oh no. This question is the entire reason why I'm doing this tag, because I have been fasting. Now it is like 36 days that I've been on a juice fast this year. And so I am a masochist, and obviously I've had cravings, I can't even say it, cravings, and I've been like wanting to eat everything. So what do? I go onto YouTube and I look for people eating food. Oh my god, salivating. People eating food and people buying food, and especially street food. And I have found that if I'm weird. If I watch something being cooked that I don't know what it is and I don't look up the ingredients, then it doesn't make me like, it satisfies my need to like watch food, but at the same time it doesn't create a craving because I don't know what it tastes like and I'm not looking up the ingredients. So that is why I did this tag. And where would I want to travel to just to eat the food? Oh my god, everywhere. I have seen so many videos from like the Middle East, like street food, from India, oh my god, street food, and a lot of Asia, like Thailand, like Bangkok, stuff like that is just like everywhere. So all of that part of the world, I just need to be there. I would eat everything, like scorpion on a stick, maybe not bugs, but you know what I mean, like it's just like everything. Oh my god, just thinking about it. And they have like so many different things, and I've been like, now that I'm watching like all of these videos, like I'm learning about, like in the Middle East they have like pickled, like preserved lemons that they preserve in salt. I never even like knew that was possible, or that they did that. And oh my god, it is amazing. And then in India they have like all of these vegetarian foods, you know, because a lot of Indians do not eat like meat and stuff. So they have like all sorts of like amazing looking like hamburgers, they're like veggie burgers and stuff like that. And then another thing that I want, after watching like so many videos of like street food in India, I don't know which part of India this is happening in, but whenever they make like a sandwich, they use like one of those sandwich makers that like makes it into like, I don't know, it almost makes it look like a Pop-Tart or something, but like right then in front of you. So by the time that I'm done with this fast, which I still have a lot of days, I am so buying myself one of those sandwich makers. I don't know, and then I'm gonna look up what they were actually like spreading on the bread. I know for a fact there was butter. I can't say anything because I'm salivating. So I know that there was butter, but I don't know what else, and I'm like not looking it up because then it's just gonna get worse. So yeah, I'm definitely getting a sandwich maker, and then I just want to try like Middle Eastern like preserved vegetables and stuff like that. I'm just gonna try, and like I want to try like hummus, and I want to try like lentil stuff. Oh my god, I want everything right now. So that is the main reason why I'm doing this tag, because all I can think about is food. And I don't like want, like I have chicken in the freezer and I don't want that chicken. I want that delicious street food, and I want to get adventurous and just try new things. I feel like you know, now that I'm not really eating, like my mind is just exploring new ideas, and I want to experiment with taste and stuff, and you know, just expand my cuisine and my palate, and who knows, I might discover something that I enjoy more than I've been used to. So because what I'm used to is like Hungarian, Italian food, stuff like that. But yeah, oh my god, if somebody would be like, here's the plane ticket, you have 5 minutes to get on a plane to like visit any of these countries, I would be like, hell yes, I'm so on it. Is there a place you would never go again? Well, I don't know. Honestly, I had my experience with Switzerland that was not like the best experience. I was in the French part of it, so I was actually working in Geneva. I did the whole Fête de Genève, the festival that they have, and I was working there like as a bartender for those 10 days. And the thing about Switzerland, I mean, it's just, maybe I just watch like too many like Milka, like the chocolate commercials with the purple cow, and I just envisioned that Switzerland would be like always sunny and always beautiful. And I mean, if you look up any pictures of Switzerland, it is so beautiful. And then when I went there, like it was the middle of summer, it was raining almost every single day, and I'm like, does it take them a year to make a calendar because you only have 12 days of like sunny, beautiful day to like see the mountains and the cows and things? I was just so upset with the weather. And then another thing is, you know, they're like very eco-friendly and stuff like that. So when you're driving, like even in the cities, like they don't have lights, like you know how in the US like everything is like bright. Like Switzerland does not do that because they don't want to like pollute like with light and stuff, because that is pollution too, and then like it scares off the wildlife and stuff, and it just disturbs. So they don't have lights, like everything is so incredibly dim that if you're like driving between cities like at night, and then that's another thing, the signs that like you come to like a T intersection, the intersection, you only have like a tiny small little light, probably like 5 meters like before, I can't even say it, before the intersection. So you know, you have to be on the lookout constantly. Without a GPS, you're as good as lost in Switzerland at night. But it was so much fun. Like, you know, all of these, you know, bad experiences turned out to be very great experiences. And when I was there, I was like, what is up with this? Like, it's raining, it's not sunny, I'm not seeing the cows everywhere, you know, there's no light, everything closes so early. Like, of course, because like I was working the festival, and I was there with my mom because she was living in Switzerland at that time. This was like a few years ago. We would close the bar thing, and this was just a thing that we did for fun. I mean, it was like 10 days, easy money, we got to have fun and like make caipirinha, which is obviously not a Switzerland typical drink. It is a Brazilian, I think it is Brazilian caipirinha. So that's what we were doing. We were working at a small little you know, stand, and we were making cocktails. So it was so much fun working with my mom, and you know, cutting lemons and making mojitos and stuff like that. And then all the money that, well, not all of it, but most of the money that we earned, we just went and like to all these amazing spas that they have there, and then we went shopping. But the one thing that I had a problem is we would always close like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, obviously. And then the one thing that I was always craving was McDonald's, and they don't have drive-through. Like, I don't know if this is the entirety of Switzerland, but like in Geneva and Bleuny, where we were staying, there was only one McDonald's, and they don't have drive-through. Like, they're so conscientious, and they're so like, you know, this whole nature thing, and they're so extremely polite, and everyone is like so fit, and everyone trains, and oh my god. And I was like, this is the most different experience that I've had in my life. So at first I was like, I don't know, I don't like Switzerland. But now, thinking of all the fond memories, we had so much fun. We had so much fun with my mom. I mean, this one time, and I'm rambling on, this one time we were coming home, and we didn't take the car with us because we just wanted to like sightsee. So we're walking, we decided to go home. It wasn't that far. It was like 45 minutes walk or something, but we're like, yeah, fine, no problem. So we're walking in front of this like really like luxurious hotel, and there's a Cartier window, you know, and like all the beautiful jewelry. And what does my mom do? She breaks her heel in front of the Cartier store. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I had some flats on, like these crocheted, like hippie looking flats, and I had like a long skirt, you know, on, and I'm like, you know, my mom was like, no problem, I'll walk barefoot. I'm like, no, Mom, you can't walk barefoot, like, you know, take my shoes. And, you know, my mom like refused at first. I'm like, no, please, like, I insist, like, you know, take my shoes. So my mom put on, you know, my flats, and obviously because my mom is used to walking in heels, she was like walking like this, like she couldn't get the hang of it, and that it was so funny. And then I was walking like, you know, in front of all of these like luxurious hotels and stuff. I was like, shalala, like a homeless kid, you know, like barefoot. Mind you, I got home and my feet were clean. That is how clean Switzerland is. There was like a speck of dust on my feet after I had been walking for 45 minutes on, like, it wasn't like all in front of hotels. Like we had to go between like two, like a city and a small little town, and like I think we were in Montreux, I think, and then we went to, I can't remember exactly, but it was a good walk, and we walked like on just roads that didn't even have like a, you know, a place for like people. It was just cars. My feet were clean, and my mom kept saying like, oh my god, you know, be careful so you don't cut your foot or anything. There was no glass, there was no dirt. Like, that is the cleanest country I have ever seen, other than the smelliness of cows that you kind of smell sometimes. It was amazing. So long story short, that was like a love-hate relationship. Would I love to go back? Yes, absolutely. By myself? No, I don't think so, but I would definitely love to go with someone and experience that again. And just, people are just not very, very, very like, you know, lovey-dovey. Like, they're like, yes, no, like, that's it. It's like, you're not getting like a hi, how's your day? Like, I'm just used to that. So anywho, oh my god, so many stories, so little time. If you could take one person with you to travel, who would it be? Here's the thing, I would love to take my boyfriend just because we haven't traveled anywhere, and I would just love to experience new things with him. And I don't know how he is when he's traveling. Like, you just have not traveled anywhere, long distance relationship for 4 years. Like, there is no like, he has traveled, I have traveled, just not traveled together. So I would love to take him. But you know, if I want like more crazy funny stories of like driving me insane and then laughing hysterically, that would probably be my mom. So it just depends like how my nerves are at that point in time. But yeah, I still pick my boyfriend. Window, aisle, or middle seat? Oh no. Window, aisle, or middle seat? Now it depends what sort of flight you're on and where you're going. So the window, I choose all three, but it depends. So the window is if you have like a small like charter plane and you're just like flying small distances, and it flies pretty low, and then you get to see everything, then definitely window, because I want to see everything. Aisle is if I'm having like a transatlantic, can't even say it, transatlantic flight, then I always choose the aisle seat, just because I want to be able to like get up, move out. I mean, it's like 9-10 hours, or yeah, like 9-10 hours of flight depending which way you're going. So definitely aisle, just so I can go to the bathroom and just stretch my legs a little bit. And then middle seat, I've honestly never requested a middle seat, just because you can get really lucky or you can get really unlucky. So if you get a middle seat, which like nobody requests, and then you just have like 3-4 seats that nobody's using and you can sprawl and like lay down, then that is fantastic. But if you request a middle seat, and then you are like, you know, scrunched in between two people like this for like the next 10 hours, then it is horrible. So I guess my least favorite would be middle seat. I usually choose the aisle. If I know that it's a short flight, then window, because I want to see everything. How do you pass time on the airplane? There isn't too much to do on an airplane, to be honest. Listening to music is something, first of all, from all my traveling, there's one thing that I don't do when I travel. I do not eat, because when you eat, then you need to drink, and then you retain water because you can't move, and then you get gassy, and then you're feeling uncomfortable, especially if you're like on a 10-hour flight. Forget it. That is like 10 hours from hell. So I don't eat anything. I like chew gum, and like I have candy or something like that, like just like to keep my sugar up. And then every time they're like passing with beverages and stuff, I get like water and orange juice. That's it. So the rest of the time, I just listen to music, watch movies. That's pretty much it. I don't have the patience to read. I flip through the magazines, but I mean, they're kind of all the same. You know, I just don't have the patience to read. So it has to be like some sort of audio visual stimuli thing to, like, you know, keep my mind off of it. Or sometimes I just stare at the people on the plane and try not to imagine all the, you know, documentaries that I've seen about plane crashes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I pass the time. It's horrible. I hate it. Like, I love short flights. I've been flying so much my entire life. And literally, like, I have lived in like airports and airplanes like my entire adolescence, just flying back and forth between my mom and my dad. So like Europe, US, Europe, US, Europe, US. And doing that like 2 times a year, and no, I don't like. That's the part that I don't like about traveling. So yeah, not really too much to do. Just listen to a bunch of music. That's pretty much it. And just, if you can sleep, that's wonderful. I can't sleep because I'm afraid that the plane will crash and then I'm gonna be asleep, and I never take any sort of like anxiety or sleeping pills, because again, I'm afraid that if the plane is gonna, like, if something happens, then I'm gonna be too loopy and, like, you know, die because I'm not like quick enough or something. I don't know, I'm just paranoid. Anywho, that has been a very long tag because I'm thinking about food, and there's like so much to say, and I know that I make these videos and they only have something like 10 questions, but to me that is like equivalent of like 10 hours of talking time. So this is like the shortest that I can get it. Who do I tag? No one in particular, because apparently people just don't like to do tags. So if you're one of those people who likes to do tags, consider yourself tagged. I would love to hear, you know, if you don't necessarily want to do a video, just leave your answers down in the comment section, or if you have a video on it, you can leave the link to your video in my comments, and then that's kind of how you do the video response. I would love to watch it. I want to know where you want to go, where you've been, what sort of food you love, and everything in between. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you like to. I would love to have you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.